Oh, good morning. God, that started mid-glug then. Jesus Christ. Yes, that is a catchy intro tune, isn't it, my guest of the day? How are we? How are we? How are we? Good morning, everybody. Make sure you drop in good morning in the comments for me. How are we? It is Thursday. It is Thursday. Yes, it's Thursday the 7th. And I know that because, remember, yesterday was my birthday. I didn't leave it subtle at all. So, good morning, good morning. Got a couple people on already, so make sure you say hello to me. Make sure you say bonjour. What are you drinking this morning? I've got my typical coffee, water, and a fizz stick because I'm like a fish. All I do is drink. So, remember, you are watching Kwak TV because why watch crap TV? Well, you can watch Kwak TV with me, Callum McKay. And every day we have a guest who chooses the topic of conversation. And I can't wait for today's topic because whether you are in business or anything, the topic of conversation today is for everybody. And I really, really can't wait. And it's really interesting. It's not boring. It's not business. It's really cool. So make sure you stay tuned in some way or another. However, I will do my normal spiel. So every day I talk about different days of the year, fun news, Twitter hashtags that you can use on Instagram as well. Everything for people to use every day. And today is Tempura Day, as in tempura batter. Yep, that's right. Tempura Day is a thing. What can we do with that? But it's also a couple of other days. So today is quite a lot of things. So it is also bobblehead days, in like pop bobbleheads, if you collect them. It's Harlem Globetrotters Day, if you are into basketball. It's the I'm not going to take it anymore day. Basically, when you're sick of people shit, you're not taking it anymore. But to me, that's every day. And it's also Old Rock Day. Do with that as you will. But that's a mixture. But I'm going with Tempura Day because to me, I like tempura. So I'm going with that. And it is also for your Twitter hashtags today is hashtag Thursday morning, hashtag Thursday motivation, and hashtag Thursday thoughts. I didn't say that one? No, I didn't say that one. But yes, you can remember, you can check these out on Twitter. All you need to do is go onto Twitter, click explore, and click trending at the top. And it will show you the hashtags that are trending first thing every day. I'm not doing Google Trends today because they're all boring and they're all about the big C word, and we know I don't talk about that on this show as much as I can. So there's no Google Trends this morning because I ain't fucking doing it. But I did look at some weird and wonderful news this morning. So this morning I have found several. One of them is a dad wakes up in his bathtub overflowing with bubbles because he fell asleep in it. But honestly, right, so this is on the Mirror. If you get a chance to go and look, you will see how many bubbles there is. Like, Jesus Christ, it looks like you put fairy liquid in the bath, not bubble bath. Ridiculous. If you've ever worked in catering and put washing up liquid in the dishwasher by mistake, you'll know exactly what I'm going on about. And then there's another one, which is neighbours become unexpected pen pals thanks to their post cat who delivers their notes. So basically, their cat has been running in between two houses, getting fed by both. So they started attaching notes to the collar and created pen pals that way. How cool is that? Your cat is the reason you are being a pen pal. Absolutely top notch. That is what I'm looking for. So yes, that's what we're going with this morning. Remember, your hashtags are Thursday morning, Thursday motivation, and Thursday thoughts. I can't wait. Honestly, today is quacking. I remembered for once. I've got a really busy day planned. When anyone's tuning in, remember to tell me if you've got a busy day planned as well, because it is non-stop. Oh, Shauna, hot soapy water is best. So for people who actually don't know Shauna, because they weren't, me and Shauna went on our catering course together. And basically there was a phrase which was hot soapy water, hot soapy water, hot soapy water. But to the point, this person was beyond annoying us with it. So she emptied a full bottle of washing up liquid on the side with a splash of water, but you couldn't clean it up because nothing would absorb all the soap. So yeah, what can I say? I've been a little bastard all the way through my life. Thanks for reminding me of this, Shauna. That's actually quite a nice kind of memory to start the year on. I really, really appreciate that. But sir, this morning we have got the one, the only Mr. Dominic Fenton, the Activity Connector, who I'll bring on in a moment. I've also nicknamed him the Fenton Bridge, and I will explain why. And remember, we did have Dom on a couple of weeks ago, but the reason we got him back on is because the internet was an absolute pile of dog shit. So we've given it another go this morning. So first of all, good morning, Dom.
Good morning. How are we?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, all good. All good. Excited to be on again. So
yes,
and we checked out the internet earlier, and it's all working. So even better. Even better.
It is quite literally take two.
Yeah, very, very literally.
So I'll tell you what, Dom. We'll refresh everyone because obviously it was before the new year. Who are you, and what do you do?
So I'm Dom Fenton, and I'm a sports consultant working around the world, inspiring children and young people to keep on the right path through sport and activity.
Yes, and I didn't know how many things you cover. And obviously, we didn't get really a chance to touch on this last time, so it's really good that I've got you back on. So, to my knowledge, there's nothing I can't mention. So I know that two of the biggest approaches you go towards is gang crime.
Yeah.
And another one is also bullying within schools.
Yeah.
So, and I know obviously they will a lot of the time as well possibly intertwine depending on what you are. So can you explain a bit more how you got into that for people?
So as a child, I was bullied at school, and basically used rugby to get myself through that. And it's always been a part of my life from then. So I ended up coaching children from the age of 18. And literally finished coaching last Christmas. So did it for about 25 years. But it was always something that I could go into schools and I could then talk to kids who were being bullied. And actually I get it because I'd been there.
Yeah.
So a lot of the problem that will happen is that the children will go, well, you don't get it, you don't understand because you've never been there. Actually, I had. So I could empathise a lot more with them. And hopefully now going to be working with a charity in the next few weeks to start looking at that even more, which is even better. And with the knife crime, the gang side of it, it was part of the largest academy trust in the country, where some of our schools were. There were issues in the areas that they were, and we used to try and then start supporting young people who wanted to come out of the gangs. To look at other options. So by doing that, I was also then assistant safeguarding officer for my local rugby club, where I'd been for pretty much since I was 5 years old, because I stayed at the one club the whole time. It was knowing the areas and knowing what happens now. It's a bigger thing, and I said I wanted to attend a course, so attended a talk in Romford. And I've actually now started working with a company that delivered that talk, and I helped them get into schools.
That's awesome. See, that's really, really cool. So, I'll tell you what, we're going to backtrack. How was your Christmas and your New Year?
Quiet but marvelous. Not a lot of change for me. To be fair, I'm a single dad, so I had my daughter's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, then dropped them off to their mum's Boxing Day. But my support bubble's my mum and dad. You know, I'm a single dad living on my own half the week. So we ended up going around there. And then the girls were up with me New Year's Eve as well. All saw New Year's Eve in.
To be fair, we over Christmas there was a few of us that are in a certain type of business network that ended up spending a good chunk of Christmas together online via Zoom. Because we were all either still working, we were busy, or we was technically maybe spending it by ourselves. And that was one of the biggest things this Christmas that several people, including myself, promoted was we don't want people to spend it by themselves. And it was really nice that we got quite a big chunk of people on Zoom, but it turned out to be the same people all the time. So we've built, even though me and you have a great friendship, we built a great, even better friendship and great friendship over the Christmas period. So, tell you what, I know with you that I'm going to be jumping from here to there because you do.
That's fine. But that's what we do.
So
that's what we do.
I ended up nicknaming you the Fenton Bridge, didn't I? And
you did.
The reason I named Dom this, for anyone that possibly doesn't know Dom or knows him, but maybe don't know much about what you do, you built your business network by kind of adding value before anyone even knows anything about what you do. And obviously you did that by connecting people. And that's what you did. Oh, good morning, Mr. Rob Lee, just off the mark.
Morning, Rob.
So you started by, before you even mentioned your business, you was like, who are you looking for? Do I know them? What can I do for you? And that's how you started your business, was connecting people. And I didn't know this until I kind of mentioned to you. I was like, you know everyone. Like, I'm saying I want to be here. You're like, yeah, know them. Perfect. Got the... I'm like, all right. But, I'm wondering how to get into this. I know the person that knows that. Yeah, got them. There's your... Like, Jesus Christ, Dom, you're like a walking book of yellow fucking pages. Like, it's honestly, it's mental. It's absolutely mental. And then you explain that's how you started your business. So the reason I nicknamed Dom the Fenton Bridge was because I imagine Dom is a bridge in between two people, which is exactly what referral networking is. But what you do is you make it personal. You don't just say it, then leave it a week and add it on a to-do list. You do it there and then. You know, the toll bridge charge is basically us making sure that we pass you connections if we come to them. You know, that's like, look, that's my only fee. My only little toll bridge charge is if you know anyone that can deal with me, pass them my way. So why was it important to you to start your network like that?
For me, I obviously joined the new network.
Yeah.
Joined 4N. Didn't really know anyone. And actually, for me, it's all about building trust.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mindset, it's very much, well, if I build trust by putting people together, down the line, once you've built that connection and things start working, they'll feel comfortable about passing stuff to me.
Yeah.
And that's how I work. You know, I've been involved with the education sector for 17 years. I've been involved with sport my whole life. So I work very much on trust. When I meet people, I'm very much someone around first impressions.
Yeah.
So actually, if you're
first impressions and you're like,
well, these things have, sometimes you can make a mistake, but generally, it's if you know, I'm very much actually if you mess me about, I'm then not going to look for connections for you.
Yeah,
it's quite simple.
There's a word here, and I touch on it all the time. And to be fair, I think I end up maybe mentioning it nearly every day on Kwak TV. And the word is credibility.
Yeah,
and you know, it's a big word because I've passed people, like for example, clients maybe, to someone I know is offering a service that they're looking for, and these aren't the people that I've messed them about. But for example, maybe insurance, maybe print, maybe design, you know, and then that person takes forever to get back to them.
Yeah,
and I'm annoyed for my client, not for the fact that I'm my client. I end up messaging that person and go, "You're damaging my credibility now because I'm passing people to you and you're not getting back with them. You're not reliable." They go, "Oh," and I'm like, "So now I'm no longer going to pass you anyone." And I tell them because I'm like, some people need a bit of a reality check on how this works.
Yeah,
you know, I'm like, I'm not going to pass you anyone anymore, like unless you pull your finger out your ass and basically sort your shit out. And they go, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "So once you've done that, come back to me and we'll talk about me passing your referrals again." And one of them, they actually massively apologized and they went, "Right, if you pass me anyone, put this subject in the email. I'll guarantee you this turnaround time," everything like that. Because they know I could pass them a lot of business, and they do. And they now stick to it. Because once again, it's that credibility. And that's like what you're saying. If they mess you about, you know they're not reliable. You don't want to work with them.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, and I think it's because of the sector as well. You know, there's obviously with schools and with children and everything that I do, I talk a lot about inspiring people.
Yeah.
You know, the thing I try and do is inspire one person every day. So if someone saw this and went, "Wow, okay, yeah, this is what," or the actual subject that we're going to talk about as well.
Yeah.
If they saw that and went, "Yeah, that's what we want to do," I've done my job. That's how I see it. It is about building relationships. I like working with people. I like being around people. I like Zooming with people now.
Yeah.
You know? And that's
he even
just
does
how.
it when he's on an exercise bike, right? He even will Zoom when he's on an exercise bike.
Only because I said to someone, if they come to the meeting, I'll do it and I did. And I thought, well, I better do it now.
So Dom, Rob has said, so true, nothing worse than a lack of communication. And, you know, this is where, you know, a really good example of this actually is when people are buying a house. And I've got two friends going through this at the moment. And I tell you what, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent before we move on, is that they've bought a house. They've been told they've got it. They're just waiting on the swap of contracts like many people do. I've never bought a house. So for me, I've never experienced this, but I know a lot of people that have. One of them is due an operation where they've got to isolate 3 days before, then they've got to isolate afterwards because they're going into hospital. And they'll be classed as high risk because their immune system's knocked. They now need to move into that house before their operation, but they can't because they can't get through to anyone. And this is what I mean. It's so like they're not going to recommend anyone to either them solicitors, them letting it, you know, estate agents. They're not going to recommend anyone to buy a house through them. And fair enough, the person they recommend might not be for another 5 years, but they're going to go, "Oh, don't buy through them. Don't buy." We had such trouble. And this is what we're saying. Nothing worse than lack of communication. Like there just isn't. So Dom, we're gonna power through. So I'll tell you what, we'll start this with 2021. What does this mean for Mr. Dom Fenton, the activity connector?
Well, that's what it means. The activity connector is my new brand. I own 3 companies, all to do with sport and activity. The brand now is what that is.
Yeah.
So whether it's I've got mental health programs. We've got the gang work. I work for a charity running sports events for disabled children. So we've got all these different programs, and I want it all under one hit because obviously we've got Dragon Ball as well with Jenny Leggett and Adrian Cuthill. So we've got lots of other bits going on, but it's a single brand. We're going to be launching a podcast as well at the end of January, which is in relation to the subject we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just going to another level. I'd like to think I've built the trust with a lot of people now. Let's hit this. Let's get this working. Let's get this working. There you go. There you go.
The power of a hobby.
Yeah.
So, Dom, before you start and before we elaborate, the power of a hobby. The one thing I will say is, as Dom's talking about this, to anyone watching, if you're not in it already, or if you're watching this on either YouTube or replay, once again, as you are listening to this, search on Facebook or follow the link that we will put there to Dom's Facebook group, The Power of a Hobby. I have never seen the interaction that isn't just shit in a Facebook group in my life, ever. Like, considering, Dom, you've even explained that you don't really have any experience with Facebook groups or anything like that.
No, first one I've ever done.
Honestly, fuck my life, and that is the best way I can explain it. The interaction you get, it's the best bit is there's no crap in between it. It is literally what it says on the tin. It's people talking about the hobbies and how they got into it. And you've had some awesome ones in there. So I'll let you say what this is about and everything like that, and what your podcast's going to be about. And then we'll mention some of the hobbies that we've seen in this group, because there are some fucking awesome ones. So
So power of a hobby. The word, there's the 2 big words in that statement. Power. I love that as a word. And the other word is hobby, because I think we all need a hobby. We all need a hobby. Either, some people have now turned hobbies into their business, which is one thing. But actually, we all need a hobby to be able to switch off from our daily work.
Yeah.
And the reason, people who know me, yes, I've gone through stuff as a child. The thing that got me through it was my rugby. And that to me is my hobby. But it saved my life.
Mm.
And I just think the reason we've done it is to try and inspire people. Again, it goes back to inspiring one person every day. It goes back to trying to understand why people start hobbies as a child and then they don't continue them.
Yeah.
Or why not start a new hobby now? We're in a lockdown. We're in all this situation. People are getting stressed. Well, how do we relieve that stress?
Yeah.
We don't want to do it through alcohol. We don't want to do it through smoking. We don't want to do it through drugs. We don't want to do it with. Let's have a look at a positive activity that we can do to help us deal with everyday stress. And it's something you enjoy. It's something you're happy to do. It's something you enjoy. And actually, it's what even this group already within the first week. And I think we've got about 75 members already, I think.
Let's just point that out, by the way. In a week, and I've already said the amount of interaction that is in it. Like it's in a week. So it's insane. So it's so obviously you're saying you're going to launch podcasts, which is obviously I believe it's also based around this as well, isn't it?
Same title, Power of a Hobby. That's what it's going to be.
And what are people going to be able to expect off your podcast?
So they're going to hear guests talking about the hobbies they do and how it's impacted their life.
Yeah.
And we have some amazing people on it. I feel really, it's the first podcast I've ever done. It's the first Facebook group I've ever done. And I'm like, you know what? Why not? Let me make 2021 the year where I just go, let's crack. Let's crack on and let's make it happen and let's just do it. And let's just.
And what I love is, right, this once again ties in with a phrase that many people use, but I use a lot. You know, you've said, I've never done a podcast before.
Yeah.
I've never done a Facebook group before. Dom, there's an important question here that I hope you give me the answer I'm wanting is it perfect? Is it exactly how you want it yet?
No.
Right.
I don't even know what I want. I don't even know what I want from it.
Exactly. That's the answer I wanted, because done is better than perfect. And that's what ties into what you just said. It's 2021. We're in another, as much as I hate the word, another lockdown, right? You've just kind of gone, what the fuck am I waiting for? Like, just do it. Like, what's going to happen? You're stuck at home anyway, whether you're on an exercise bike, in your pajamas, or in a suit. Like, what the fuck you got to lose? Do it. If anyone at the moment that is watching this, like, let me look at the camera. If anyone is watching this at the moment, honestly, and there is something you are wanting to try, something you are wanting to do, and hopefully with some of the ideas and examples we give with hobbies as well, fucking do it. You've got no reason to wait. That's me speaking into the camera, hopefully. So Rob is saying, sounds great. To be fair, my hobby of sport is what led me to becoming a personal trainer. Yeah. So, Dom, I remember I posted in your group and I said, I don't really have a hobby, but I thought on it. I've been thinking on it, and I do have one of, and I am going to call it a hobby because I enjoy it. Yeah, I really enjoy it. And you know what it is? I don't want this to sound cliche because of what I do for my business or anything like that. It's networking. Yeah. And actually, what will point that out is me saying about how much I did it over Christmas. I love it. And I couldn't wait to get back to meetings. I couldn't wait. I could go to a networking meeting and go, I'm not talking about my business today. I'm just here to have a laugh. I absolutely love it. So there, you know, when you were saying, like, you don't have to have do you have interests? Interests lead to hobbies. Well, I loved yesterday was my birthday and I ended up working all day because I fucking love what I do. I couldn't wait to open, right? These are just presentation folders, but I couldn't wait to open them. I was like, oh my God, they finally got delivered. Love it. So, tell you what, is there anything you want to say about Power of a Hobby before we talk about maybe some of the ones that we've seen?
No, I just think it's, you know, if there is something you want to do, all I say to anyone who watches this is, as you've done, if you don't think you've got a hobby, think to what you did as a child.
Yeah.
Think to what things you enjoyed as a child. For me, the question is always, why did we stop it? Things happen. Yes, we grow up, we have kids, we have all these different bits, and we have all these different. But for me, it's all about identity.
Yeah.
People knew me as being a rugby player, and that's fine. It took me a while when I had to retire through injury to go, well, who am I now? But actually, rugby is always going to be a thread in my life.
Yeah.
Whether I play or coach or I just go and watch, it's always people are still going to know me, and most of my best friends are from people I played rugby with 25 years ago, and we're still friends now.
Exactly. Dom, honestly, I know exactly what you are preaching. You know, my brother's a professional rugby player. He used to play rugby as a hobby. You know, he's gone to Australia and lived in Australia thanks to it. You know, it's my sister used to play netball. And when I say used to, bear with me, then she got married. She had kids, she became a stay-at-home mom, and it dropped. But then actually, when she realized the children were old enough, she was like, she was still a bit of a stay-at-home wife. She was like, I'm missing something here. She reconnected with netball. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, then she did a ligaments in her knee a few months ago. She had an operation, sod's law. But she reconnected with netball. You know, it's been awesome for her. My other sister, she used to do dance. She's back into dancing. She now helps teach the class that my nieces are in. Yeah. It's exactly what you're saying. It's also what I say with people looking at what they did as a child. If you ever come across anyone or you have a friend that goes, I don't really know what I want to do with my life. I don't really know what I'm good at. Get them to ask their parent or their guardian. Yeah. Because they will be able to tell them, if they've been in their life a significant amount of time, they'll be able to tell them what they're good at. And I asked my mum this, and she said talking, which is why you're perfect at doing what you do.
Brilliant. And that's falling into what you're doing now. And I think, I think the biggest thing for me is, because I work with children and young people anyway, this is one of the things I say to all of them. Yeah. If they get it, and it's very much about find something that's right for you, because the fact that part of the reason that we're in some of the situations we're in with society and everything else is the fact that there's a sport or activity, and I mean that activity because the activity could be anything. Yeah. As long as it's positive in your life, and it's making a positive difference and is a positive activity that you can do, there is a sport or an activity for every single child.
Yeah.
Our role as adults is to help them find it.
Exactly. And also, there's a really good kind of way of looking at a hobby. You have a hobby or do a hobby because you enjoy it. So you are never going to be fucking miserable doing your hobby.
Yeah.
Ever. Unless you're breaking a knee. Like, when you end up breaking an arm, you're never going to be pissed off for your hobby. Ever.
Yeah. If you have a bad day, you wanna have something you can go to switch off.
Exactly.
And that's it. Rather than go to a bottle of wine, rather than go to this.
Yeah. Rather
find
than buying,
something you can do. Yeah.
Even then, rather grabbing crap food, binge food, better than, it's better than all of them. So, Dom, before we wrap up, a couple of the hobbies we have seen in your group. One of the best ones, right? I believe this was Marcus Chapman, right?
Yeah.
Was number plate spotting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Registration plate spotting, like, never heard of that before. He loves it. I hope you don't mind me saying. And also watch collecting.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
Love it.
I just think what we're now doing is fine. We know a lot of these people.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these people have connected, which has been brilliant, which I've absolutely loved. But actually, we now understand them at a different level.
Yeah.
We know them from a business point of view. Now the whole idea is we connect with people on a different level because we enjoy the same things.
It's funny that is connecting people and it's to do with activities. I wonder where you got your business name from. Like,
I got that from you because you started calling me the Fenton Bridge. I was like, well, actually, and one of the things I am looking at is whether or not I start charging little bits for that as well down the line. But that's
what's going to happen. You can always charge. You can always take it off. Just don't charge me. And then one of the other ones, which I won't name the person, because actually I don't know if a lot of people know this, but there was someone else that I've become quite close with over online networking. And I didn't realize they've been doing acting for 30 years.
Yeah.
And not just even amateur. Like, they've been doing acting for 30 years, which is nothing to do with their business. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Insane. But Dom, thank you so much. If everyone's looking to connect with you, make sure you drop all your links in the duck pond, my Facebook page, all in the comments, everywhere there, so everyone can find you. Have you enjoyed being on today?
Yeah, it's been fab. And the internet's worked, which is like...
Yes, the internet has worked. Well, Dom, thank you so much for coming on. Hover about for a minute at the end. I'll kick you backstage. I'll just have a quick chat. But thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, have a good day.
Bye. Oh, there's one. Thanks. Oh, Mr. Dom Fenton, the activity connector. I love saying it like that. I've just got to say it like that. It's like whenever I hear that the Fenton Bridge, you've just got to enunciate, haven't you? So that was Dom Fenton, the activity connector, talking about the power of a hobby. Absolutely great. I really, really love Dom. He's absolute power. I use this phrase a lot, but pretty much everyone I get on these are all powerhouses, because for me, they've got to make an impact. That's the point of Kwak TV. So remember, why watch Kwak TV? We can watch Kwak TV. And tomorrow, we've got Rebecca Beck, I believe I said her last name correctly, professional opera singer from the BBC. And once again, I don't have a clue what we're going to talk about, because every day my guest chooses the topic of conversation. So have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your week. I clicked that too soon. And I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30.